Good morning, and Christ is risen. Welcome to our Reading the Gospels Together special presentation for Easter Sunday morning. Even a quick reading of the last few chapters of each of the Gospels will reveal that the resurrection stories are not the same, that in fact they differ on many points. When you're reading the resurrection story in Matthew, there are details that you might have been looking for that exist in Luke and John, or perhaps even Mark, that you're missing in Matthew. The other stories the same way. However, these variations are considerable proof of the truth of the stories. They were uncompromised by collusion. The writers of the Gospels, confident of the eyewitness sources of their material, reported the resurrection stories precisely as they were transmitted to them by the witnesses themselves. There was no effort whatsoever to make the stories agree. And so we have a number of different details. But even with the variances of perspective of each of the stories, the accounts can be combined to form a single, non-contradictory narrative. Here it goes, the story of the resurrection from the four Gospels. On the first day of the week, very early in the morning, there was an earthquake, for an angel of the Lord had come down to the tomb and rolled the stone away. The guards who had been posted there shook and were paralyzed with fear. Mary Magdalene, the other Mary, Salome, and some of the others of the women went to the tomb as the sun was rising, to see the tomb and, if possible, anoint the body of Jesus. As they walked, they wondered who might roll the stone away for them. As they arrived, the sun not quite up, Mary Magdalene saw the tomb first, and discovered the stone had been removed and the body gone. While the others remained behind, she ran and told the disciples, "They've taken the Lord out of the tomb, and we do not know where they have laid him." While she was gone, the other women went into the tomb to see for themselves. There was an angel who looked like a young man, dressed in clothes of dazzling white, standing inside the tomb on the right side. They were terrified, but the angel said, "Do not be alarmed. You're looking for Jesus the Nazarene who was crucified. He has risen. He is not here. See the place where they laid him. But go tell his disciples and Peter, he's going ahead of you into Galilee, and there you will see him just as he told you." The angel was joined by another who added, "Remember how he told you while he was still with you in Galilee. The Son of Man must be delivered into the hands of sinful men, be crucified, and on the third day be raised again." Then they remembered Jesus saying just that, and they ran away from the tomb, terrified by all that had happened. So frightened they told no one what had happened or where they were going. While all this was happening, back at the house, Peter and John were listening to Mary. Peter jumped up and ran out of the house, with John close behind. John got to the tomb first, bent down and looked inside. He saw Jesus' burial shroud as well as the cloth in which his head had been wrapped, rolled up all by itself. Peter, however, barged right in. He just couldn't understand what had happened, and John, entering the tomb himself, finally believed the body wasn't there. They went back to the house, but Mary Magdalene, who had followed them to the tomb, remained, weeping outside the tomb. All alone now, still weeping, Mary bent over to look in the tomb. There were the two angels now back, sitting right where Jesus had lain. They asked her why she was crying, and she replied, "They've taken away my Lord, and I don't know where." Turning around, she saw Jesus standing there, but she did not recognize him. He too said, "Woman, why are you weeping? For whom are you looking?" Thinking him to be the gardener, she replied, "Sir, if you have carried him away, tell me where, and I will take him away." Then Jesus said to her, "Mary," and she finally realized who it was. "Rabbi," she said, and she threw her arms around him. Jesus then told Mary to not hold on to him because he has not yet ascended to the Father, but she is to go to his brothers and tell them that I am ascending to my Father and to your Father, to my God and to your God. Then Mary went and told the disciples all that Jesus had said. This is the story from all four Gospels combined. I would encourage you today, in celebration of Easter, to read the resurrection story from each of these Gospels and consider how those witnesses got together and in separate times over separate years and to separate people told the story of the resurrection of Jesus, the story which would change the world and our world along with it. In the days to come, we're going to hear more about the resurrection of Jesus, and particularly the post-resurrection appearances of Jesus, so very, very important to the early church and to that great cloud of witnesses. God bless you. Be sure to watch our Easter services today that are on our YouTube and Facebook channel. See you tomorrow.